afternoon, everyone. So my name is Ethean, and it's my first time in Jakarta. I'm very impressed by how rapidly digital finance is evolving here in digital finance. And in this Fireside chat, we will discuss digital finance and the future market landscape and maybe some potential opportunities here, especially in Indonesia. And I'm honored to have
Wait, Ethean, before we continue, what is the best thing you see in Jakarta so far?
I don't know how to say it. I think it's a fried chicken with fried rice, maybe. Yes. And I really like people here. You are all very, very friendly, I think, and open to all the foreigners, I think. Yeah. And we are honored to have our guest here from D3 Labs. And I will introduce D3 Labs that is the first and so far the only one that has secured approval from OJK Sandbox under the category of digital finance market infrastructure. And we have our Chung Ying CEO of D3 Labs and Tigran co-CEO of D3 Labs. And my first question is that I'm very curious about the history of D3 Labs because I think you have been in this space for a long time. Maybe we can start with Tigran.
Well, to be frank, before I've been in the industry, I was in the public sector. So I was staff to one of the minister back then. So I got, I actually, initially I had the notion to join an industry that I thought will be far away from the regulators. I cannot be more wrong. Apparently, the first few years, becoming more and more regulated. And so that's why I thought I will be free, whatever it is that I'm wearing, but I had to wear batik every day again.
Yeah.
But so far it's been very promising. It's been very good. So before D3, I was joining Chung Ying at one of the exchanges. It was Toko Crypto back then. And so now we started these three together because we have the notion to bring this technology to the institutional.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how everything started.
So at the beginning, you have started explore this space under a compliant way. Yeah, in a very compliant way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we followed the company strategy back then to be the first compliant exchange in Indonesia. So
yes. Yeah. It's really a first mover because in digital finance, I think many people kind of build in a gray area. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So maybe Chung Ying, do you want to add some points here?
Maybe let me add a bit more. So I think the whole idea came with we want to be the first one to prove that we can bring a new initiative to scale. So this is exactly the same thesis we have during the early days during Toko Cryptos. We see that global crypto exchanges are getting traction. It's difficult for us to compete globally.
Yeah.
So if you want to compete locally, what should it be? And the only strategy we see that for us as local players will be able to compete is to make it in a compliant way. So we did that strategy for Toko Crypto. We are the first one to get licensed during 2019. Looking at the same strategy, what is next in the blockchain space? It will be digital finance, it will be stablecoin, it will be RWA. That's why there's the time where me and Tigran we decided, let's do the same. We want to be 2-3 years ahead from the main bulk of people to kickstart first, so that when the market comes, we will become the market leader, which I think it has been proven us quite well, which I see that this year RWA is kicking up very well.
Okay, so D3 Labs at the beginning, you found your edge would be the compliant infrastructure to compete with maybe US and the Western markets. Okay, I'm really curious because you two are the co-CEO of D3 Labs. How did you meet each other? And why do you pick up the co-CEO mode?
Was his idea at the beginning?
Yeah, this is my answer. Okay, so just to share our personal background, when I was in Toko Crypto as a CSO, Tigran was actually one of my senior manager directly working with me. And why co-CEO? Because to me, is after experience in Toko Crypto, we realized that regulatory management and regulatory compliance and also coordination with the regulators, especially if you want to become the player in coming out a new framework, new law with the regulator requires a lot of attention. So how we decided, okay, we shouldn't split who is CEO, because in terms of deciding on the company strategy, company execution, it's important, but we know that company cannot survive just on this part. We need it to combine regulations plus strategy plus execution, and that's why we discussed like, okay, why not we be equal? Both are CEO, but we call it a co-CEO, which I'm very proud to say 3 years ago, nobody uses co-CEO. In fact, we have so many people asking us, what is co-CEO? Why co-CEO? But until now, even Binance uses co-CEO, which proves that we are even more forward-thinking than Binance in terms of deciding the legal structure of the company.
Yes, Binance even follows the D3 Labs way in the management mode.
After us, it was Goto, right?
Oh yeah, Gojek first.
Goto,
Yeah.
and then our friend Robbie Reku as well, right? Is a co-CEO.
Reku also, yes.
Now Binance, and I think it's actually start making sense for a lot of operators.
Yes, because I think the interesting thing about co-CEO that because different people will have different sense and strengths, and that can both contribute to the team and make some amazing things to happen.
That's why I have an ex-government person to become the co-CEO.
Yes. So let's dive into the real-world assets, a key topic in today. I think Web3 industry have been discussing about it since 2014. It has been 10 years, but until the last 2 years, we have seen real acceleration. So, can you maybe walk us through the history of digital finance and the real-world assets? And do you believe that we have achieved the real breakout moment now? Yeah.
So maybe I start, Tigran? Okay, so why we decided on digital finance or RWA tokenization 3 years ago is because I think every industry goes through the similar phase. Like even in stock market boom, even in gold rush, and whenever industry boom, everybody make money. They will be very careless on how they manage their money. And that's why you see repeated cycle of making money, losing money. And there will be a point where when the industry is mature enough, people will be talking about preserving their wealth, preserving their asset. So I've been through the whole crypto cycle for 8 years. I've seen so many people make money, lose money, until the point where people are now talking about how can I preserve the wealth that I made from crypto, meme coin, NFT. And having RWA is a very natural progression, because what are the things that is so-called the most stable in value in terms of dollar? Not to debate Bitcoin over here, but in terms of dollar value, usually real-world assets, fixed income products. That's why for us it's a very natural reason why we believe that RWA is the next phase. And to be very fair, I think now it's still, even though now we say it's popular, it's still early, because when we talk to a lot of Web3 investors, maybe I will sense like 20-30% of them believe in RWA, another 60-70% of them still doesn't. So there's still a lot of like potential to grow.
Yes. Crypto, I think, has been long a gambling game. Like we do like over 100 APY on DeFi, and people in the early days, people don't care about real world assets because only provide maybe 10% APY at minimum, at maximum. So we are at as the market down and we come to the bear market, I think more people will seek for a more stable yield source, and the real world asset would be a wise choice for them. And maybe Tigran, do you want to add something here?
So yeah, I think I'll speak on the regulatory standpoint, right? So I think always the same cycle as well. So I think the innovation, new things comes ahead of the regulation. Regulation will come follow, and today this morning we discussed about anomaly, right? So how crypto has been adopted in a massive way, and then regulatory follow. There was a time that the regulators actually handing over who is going to regulate this, right? So
that's a funny part where Bapepti want to take it up, nobody want to take it up.
The central bank don't want to do it, OJK don't want to do it, and then somehow it's handed over to the Bapepti, right? So now it's actually start getting back to OJK, and then we see even the central bank start supervising it, and then start involved in the discussion with OJK. And not only that, right? So now even the discussion is escalated into more cross-border discussion about how to synchronize between regions and everything. So and it's always been a it's always the same cycle. So that's why, we need to ensure the businesses go ahead, and then we need to some kind of a patience and bandwidth to deal with the regulators, because we need to assess the government. We need to ensure that these are the best practice, because we felt that the government need extension arm to do some testing, to find what is actually fit, and what actually realistic for them to issue some kind of regulation that actually have some balance between customer protection and how the business practice can go ahead. So yeah.
Yeah, for every technology innovation should move first and show to the regulators that this market really have the potential, then the regulator will follow and will have, release more specific guidance for the industry.
And I need to, I need to give a credit to OJK, because back then during the Toko days, right? So it was more scary because Toko running without any regulation at all, right? So that time it was quite a speculative whether which will be allowed or not, right?
Yes.
But now at least from our side, there's a law that protect the sandbox participant to actually conduct a real commercial use case, at least for 1 year, right? So I think the gambling is not like it used to be, right?
Yes.
So now at least we have a legal, clear legal status. We have an exemption to do what we do now. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a clear structure to let the innovation things go. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes. So, as we have mentioned the regulation, so from your perspective, what major regulatory developments or policy shifts we should pay attention to?
From the regulatory standpoint, right? So I think, just what I elaborated today, the domestic trading law is pretty much established and sophisticated already, right?
Yeah.
So the whole value chain from having the national bourse, from having the clearinghouse, the custody, and then the exchange as a market operator is clear in terms of the tax, in terms of the accounting practice, everything is there, right? But I think what we're anticipating is the issuance and offering law, right? Which we believe covering a wider spectrum of industry, right? So this is something that, we are participating in these, in our solution is participating in this. And the second one, we work very closely with the policy team of OJK as well, which we just shared. And not only that, we've been very proactive in assisting the OJK to actually have a conversation with the global market operators from the asset side, from the distribution side, also across jurisdiction. Because I'm so happy that, OJK introduced us to at least 15 different regulators, right? So, and to take notice how these regulators have a different mindset or different policy toward this regulated digital financial asset.
We can see the OJK has used a sandbox program to let innovation, and also they are making put much effort to release more guidance and laws to let the business
Actually,
go.
one thing to add on more, the difference in category between digital financial asset and capital market product is also very important. So this one maybe I can add in a bit from the global side. So when we talk about RWA asset, most countries globally, Singapore, Hong Kong, US, all regulates them as a capital market product. For people who don't do investment, a capital market product securities refers to asset that have a lot of entry barrier, restriction to retail, restriction to transfer. But in Indonesia, one thing that's very unique is that these RWA tokens are being categorized as a digital financial asset rather than a capital market product. And I think this is the part where it really unlocks a lot of potential use case, because I'm a Singaporean, I'm from Singapore, right? I spoke to a lot of the Singaporean or Singapore RWA companies. All of them are actually having very bad or very tough ability to sell the tokens because of all these restrictions that's there. But they can't list it on the crypto platforms, they can't sell to crypto traders, they can't sell the asset to like a Web3 investor with stablecoin. But in Indonesia, these are allowed. So I think that's the part where globally it should move towards that direction.
Yes.
So I was in the same panel with MAS last week in Bali. So even the senior official from MAS declared again, stated that they will not change their mind for now. So whatever is the form of securities will stay as it is under capital market, right? So that's very bold statement. So this is where we feel that even with OJK, we convinced that, hey, you know what, this is our opportunity to actually have something different. And having a chairman level, commissioner level that with the same level with capital market and bank means this sector, this department can issue its own regulator as long as it's not really super overlapping. So these are the important opportunity that we oversee.
Yes, I have asked this question to Chung Ying and Tigran many times. What's the difference between the Indonesia and the global laws on digital finance? But I think the key point here is Indonesian laws will give equal financial right to everyone. So everyone will have the access to the real world assets like money market fund or private fund that usually we only open to the institutions or big players. So I think this is the main difference between Indonesia and other big players globally. So Tigran, going forward, what direction do you see the Indonesia regulation will head in?
So yeah, I think I'm just gonna borrow what Pa Hasan, our chairman, is actually re-elaborating, right? So normally from the regulator standpoint, there's always this dilemma between consumer protection and then the market liquidity. But this time is a bit different. It's like there's another point, there's a trilemma, right? There's a liquidity, consumer protection, and then the global positioning, right?
Yeah.
This is something that he keep emphasizing to the team. And
Yeah.
I mean, Pasatrio is here, right? So I won't be making it up. So how can we make Indonesia as a friendly jurisdiction for issuance?
Yeah.
Because issuance covering global, right? It's not only protecting a domestic, but how can we ensure we become a friendly jurisdiction that actually can invite global asset managers, global investors, Indonesian participants to be part of the ecosystem. So this is something that, we work very closely with OJK now.
We want to attract more global leading fund managers come
Correct.
to Indonesia.
And we believe that we still have a chance to do so.
Yes, that means Indonesia will have a more open innovation environment for all the global builders, right?
Correct.
Okay, so maybe next time, Chung Ying. So what role do you think Indonesia now play in the global real world asset landscape?
So when we think about Web3 blockchain, to be honest, the moment you bring it on chain, it becomes global. So I think looking at what has happened, I feel that Indonesia, with its friendly RWA law or token issuance law, it has actually the potential to become one of the hub for issuance, at least within the Asia region. Same as, let's say, 5 years ago, nobody cares about Dubai, nobody knows about Dubai for crypto, but suddenly just because they open up the law, Binance went in, suddenly Middle East, Dubai become the hub of crypto, which nobody cares about Dubai in crypto regulation 5 years ago. People talk about US, Hong Kong, Singapore, but not Dubai. So I believe Indonesia do have similar potential.
And we have El Salvador now, right?
Oh yeah, correct.
Yes, so we can see the global big players are changing, and so if Indonesia we have moved forward, I think have taken the first step to make our regulation more friendly. So we will have the potential to become maybe next hub of a real world asset space.
There's also a lot of money in Indonesia.
Yes. So, okay, as we speak to money, so as this market continues to mature, which asset category do you think will scale into mainstream?
Me, Tigran? Okay. So personally, I have two theses. When we talk about RWA, we are talking about bringing a set on chain. So I think the main focus about RWA tokenization should be about giving accessibility. So my thesis is always, what are things that is not available to majority investors? So like for me, US stocks, US funds are already actually easily available in every country through their financial apps. I'm looking at more asset that's maybe like Brazil. So just for example, Brazil interest rate is about 7-8%, one of the highest in the world. But if a person want to invest in Brazilian interest or Brazilian bond, how? They can't, because it's not as accessible. So if we can tokenize this kind of like rare countries asset and open it up to more investors, why not? Another kind is like, actually, Ethean, you mentioned it just now, private funds. So do you know that actually you can invest in OpenAI even before the IPO? You can also invest in like private credit, which give like 10% APY. So these are all assets that previously not available to the public, and by tokenizing it, we are giving accessibility to investors. I think that's the key point.
Okay, so Chung Ying's opinion is that you see the potential realizing assets that the regular users don't have access. Yeah, before. Okay, so Tigran, so let's just say in 5 years, what do you see like Indonesia's digital finance ecosystem will look like?
So I think we're very hopeful and we're very confident. So we will be one of the most friendly jurisdiction in the region for asset issuance and asset offering. Well, we can provide not only customer protection, but there's ability of cross-border agreements, and then cross-border protection also, and with the right oversight from the regulatory bodies, and also having the right infrastructure is actually essential, especially in terms of the interoperability and all the functions that are required to do so. So yeah, I'm very confident that Indonesia will be playing a big part.
So, okay, so how high you think the market size can be in 5 years?
Wow, that is a sensitive topic to say so.
Okay.
But it's okay, we can give a number. You want to give a number, or should I give a number?
Go ahead.
Okay. I will base on our report that we did with Saison Capital and BI Ventures last year. We predict that Indonesia will have 88 billion asset tokenized by 2030.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe we can come back in 5 years.
Indonesian
and
asset. This Indonesian not
Yeah,
include if we're
correct.
allowed other asset to be tokenized under
So
Indonesian
we will
leadership.
have this session 5 years later, Tigran.
Oh, yeah.
We still have 5 years time to prove it. Okay, so we can see this is a space that have a lot of like startup opportunities. So, Chung Ying, I think you have many experience in like doing a startup. So, what's the most significant challenge in building in digital finance space?
Actually, maybe not just about digital finance space, but just about being the first in the market to do a startup.
Yeah.
I think if you are doing a startup that is already proven model work, I think what is important is about execution. But the very fact truth of doing a startup where nobody has done it before, like for us in RWA, we are the first in Indonesia to do it. Toko Crypto, we are the first in Indonesia to go for a license. It's really to stay focused in the path. And sometimes it's not always smooth. Even me and Tigran, we have so much debate, so much like even heated debates. But we just need to stay online and really believe that what we started and not change direction last minute. Because I think what I see a lot of founders are like, they tried something 2 months, it's not working, it changed. They tried something 1 month, it changed. But the thing is, every time changing direction, it wastes the effort that the company put in. So unless you say that you are really try all your effort, then I don't think a founder should actually be so easily impact and change the company direction. Yeah.
Okay, so being focused is very difficult in the startups, and
Yes.
don't chase the hype and change your direction too many times.
So like 2 years ago, nobody talks about RWA.
True.
But
yeah.
we started RWA, people doubt us.
Yes.
But now we prove that yes, what we believe is correct. RWA is the main thing in Web3 now.
Yeah. Tigran, do you want to
Yeah,
add
pretty
some-
much similar, right? So I think whatever the discussion we have, but we always have a same vision, right? So we have a same vision, and then we're focusing on the problems, right? So how can we solve the problem, and what are the scale of the problem that we're solving is absolutely important as well. And so what we believe at the tree, right? It's pretty similar playbook that we did in Toko Crypto, right? So not only that we want to be the market operator, but we also want to drive the industry. We invest a lot of time and resources, everything, to make sure that the industry the standard can be set in the proper manner, right? So that's why we have a co-CEO model that fits for us.
Yeah, so at the beginning, you need to have a long-term vision to build something and put a lot of effort.
Correct. Not only the vision, but the patience, right? Because you're gonna have to explain, right,
Yeah.
all over the time. Because the thing is, the first deck we have is introduction of blockchain.
Yeah.
all institutions what blockchain is, right? But
Yeah.
I think we passed it, right? So we no longer have to explain whether blockchain works or not, right? So now it's like we don't need to re-explain again. Now we're focusing on how it actually functions, right? So I think we have to redefine everything, and the patience we have, is actually one of our assets to deal with the ecosystem.
You need to educate everyone
Exactly.
to
Of
know.
course.
Yes.
Of course. And we educate larger institutions. We have to educate regulators. We have to educate,
Tigran, I think the first 6 months is all about education, right?
Exactly. It's like we're running a workshop for everyone. Yeah.
Not just educate the stakeholders, even educate internal team.
Yeah, yes. So I think it's the hard part for the first movers in the industry. Okay, let's come to our final question. As we look forward to 2026, do you have something exciting maybe can share with us for you and for D3 Labs?
Tigran, you want to take this?
You take it.
Oh, okay. I think at least for D3, what is done previously behind the back is ended. We are more ready to face our customer now. So that's why recently we just launched our Pruv platform, and it can change the image. Pruv, oh, it's already changed. So recently we just launched our platform that's approved by OJK that allow us to work with different issuers, different asset managers to launch RW tokens based out of Indonesia law. So we will be able to serve institutions and retail investors and also our fellow Web3 degens. So if you guys are interested to talk about what are the RW available to invest in, please come to us, come to Pruv, or come to our first-time visitor from Hong Kong. Yeah, she will explain a lot of things to you guys. Okay,
Thanks,
I think that's all.
Train. Yeah, Tigran, do you want to add
Pretty
something?
much the same. Pretty much the
Okay,
same. Yeah.
thanks for our two guys and for the insightful conversation, and thanks for all our audience for listening.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you,
Terima
everyone.
kasih banyak ya semua.
All right, thank you so much to D3 Lab. Don't go anywhere. Miss Ethean Yu, would you please join these gentlemen for photo ops? For group photo together. Once again, thank you very much to D3 Labs, Pruv Finance, also to Mr. Chung Ying Lai and Mas Tigran for bringing your expertise to Indonesia Blockchain Week 2025, and also to Miss Ethean Yu as our moderator.